And we're back. We're back. Thursday night, late night, special, lights out. And the name on the front is more important than the name on the back. I don't know what the name on the back is on this one. I think it says the Second Amendment. I don't even know. I can't even read my own shirt. But the USA, the United States of America. It is good to see everybody. I have not had a chance in a while to just come on here and run my mouth for 3 hours. Oh, you're in trouble. We have got a this and that, a McFoolery, a Q&A. We may even throw a little justice in tonight. We hadn't done a McJustice show in forever. My brother is cataloging all my shows for me right now. We're trying to get these shows organized. And you Rumble people, we're coming back to Rumble soon. If I can figure out a way to keep all the crazies off our channel. And we got some. We have one guy over there that he was hell-bent on telling me the earth was flat. And I know some of you may believe that. I don't. But, it didn't matter what kind of show we posted. He had to post his 16 links to the flat earth truth. Some people are immune to good advice. Some people smoke meth. Some people are drug-induced. But anyway, I'm just in one of those weird moods tonight. I got the cowboy hat and the I was not here hat, depending on what mood I get in here in a minute. I don't know which one I'll wear. Maybe wear both of them. I don't know. Probably should put both of them on. Usually that's what I do. But anyway, we're grateful that you're here tonight. And if you got a question for us, you can send it to McFiles Forum at gmail.com. And it is good to see Lynn Lee. She's watching from Hillmar, California, and Webster, Joanne Griffin, Mary Griffin. Tom Neal. Tim, good to see you tonight, buddy, from Southern Ohio. And we're grateful that you guys are in the house tonight. And then we've got over here on YouTube, we got almost 76 people watching. And Cleo, Kathy Long, Linda Thompson, Sharon G., Patty Isaacs, Lisa Staniver, Daniel Delane, good to see you all tonight. Teresa Wesley Hale from West Virginia, my neighbor to the north, good to see you. Carol Smith. And that's all that's chiming in on the chat. But Patty Isaacs, good to see you. Sharon G., and so forth. So we're grateful that you all are here tonight. And all. I'm going to start with a few things from Twitter tonight. And, man, I tell you what, it was lighting up out there tonight. A couple of news stories I do want to mention. And I don't know if you heard about this, but it's being reported tonight. I'm going to pull this Twitter handle into. This is DC Drano. He's probably one of the best Twitter followers, things to follow on Twitter. I don't get on True Social as much. Burisma says we sent $10 million in bribes to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Biden's 2017, they amended his 2017 tax filing, has unexplained $10 million income with no source. The media is talking about tonight, they ain't talking about this, Trump got indicted. Trump got indicted. The GOP, where did Joe Biden's $10 million windfall in 2017 actually come from? Listen, I could give a rat's backside about what the GOP is saying. That's all they're doing is talking. Marsha Blackburn from my state tonight. You know, there's two systems of justice. Well, Martha, that ain't no memo. What were you trying to tell us something we don't know? Of course, it's a two-tier justice system. Are you trying to get us to believe that you care? If you Republicans cared, this crap would be over in about 15 seconds because you'd impeach the guy on the right there. You'd put the other one in jail for bribery and treason. So just spare us your bullshit and spare us your drama and spare us your melodramatic talk tonight. Lauren Barr, all of them. Lauren introduced articles of impeachment again tonight. Marjorie Taylor Greene's out there claiming that she's got secret information that's going to blow the lid off of why they didn't go after Adam Schiff or they didn't go after the Bidens. Well, we're all ears, Marjorie. We're tired of hearing that you got all this secret information and then all you do is blank in the wind. And I'm just over it. I mean, this is, you know, look, if this is true, there needs to be an investigation. Will there be an investigation? No. You know, I was talking to a dear friend this afternoon, folks, and I think we're all over this stuff. We're all to the point that, you know, these Republicans have been running their mouth, and I read something tonight. It was so true. What is more worse? The criminal activity of the Bidens, the criminal activity of the DOJ, the criminal activity of the COVID people, the criminal activity of all the government that's doing it, or the people that are in power that sit around and do nothing about it to stop it. I would argue the second is worse. So, I just want you to know what DC Drano's reporting, and there's other outlets reporting that tonight, that the FBI source has given up the fact that there was a $10 million bribe. It wasn't just $5 million. I mean, it was $5 million apiece, one for the son, one for the current de facto leader who's trying to be a dictator. But he was asked about this tonight. Somebody asked him, are you the big guy that is all in these memos, the big guy in these bribery schemes? And he got real ticked with a New York Post reporter tonight. So it's getting under his skin. But until I see something actually happen, I'm not going to hold my breath, and you shouldn't either. But it is an interesting narrative that you've got his tax returns all of a sudden showing a $10 million windfall. Wow. Joe must have had maybe the IRS don't need to know about that $10 million bucks. So anyway, I'm just telling you folks, look, I'm not trying to make light of this corruption. I'm not trying to make light of it, but it doesn't do us any good to just keep talking about it and then do nothing about it. So it is what it is. And all I can say is, we'll see. We'll see what they got to do about it. This was a disgrace. I will tell you this right now. This was a terrible disgrace this week. This was done Monday. And that flag in the middle, men did not shed their blood and die for that flag. No, men died and shed their blood for the two flags. The one flag, really, it's two of them on the end. And that is a disgraceful, despicable, abominable, and I got a few other vernaculars I can't use because this is a family show, for what we displayed on that White House Monday. And the display of perversion and the display of debauchery and the display of, I don't even know what you call it at this point, folks. There was a cartoon that somebody drew. I think it was Ben Garrison. Ben's a good cartoonist. Not as good as Branko, but Ben's a good one. He drew this one. He says, whatever you do, don't look back. Biden and Gomorrah. Zap. The lady got turned to stone. If you'd have seen some of the junk and some of the perversion that was on the White House lawn Monday, you would have understood this cartoon. And that was on your White House, folks. This is on our government tonight, and they're not hiding it. If you were with us early tonight with January Smith, she basically told us again that this is going all the way up to the UN, and they're pushing this agenda. By the way, I want to tell you parents something. You need to do what this mama does when your little Johnny and Susan, well, Mama, I think I'm a little boy. Well, Mama tells her, no, you're not. And if your little boy is coming to you and telling you, Mama, I think I'm a little girl, you need to be a daddy and tell him, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you're not. God didn't create you. If He created you as a boy, you're a boy always. And if you're a girl, you're a girl. That's how God created you. That's how it is in the discussion. Here's Benny Johnson tonight. The left was obsessed with Trump's tax returns for years, and when they finally got a look at them, there was nothing. When $10 million magically appears on Joe Biden's 2017 tax returns, and we have FBI evidence to show that money came from a foreign national, which is a crime, folks, a foreign crime. It's a federal crime. In a bribery scheme, they bury their heads in the sand and pretend there's nothing to see, and that's exactly what they've done. That is exactly what they've done. By the way, just as a reminder that the reason they're not arresting Jeffrey Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's clients is because they are Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's clients. I'll leave in that one. That was a good one there tonight. By the way, another good one tonight. There's only one thing worse than a criminal. It's a criminal with a badge, and you've got two of them right there. Both of them need to be impeached. Ray needs to be fired. Garland needs to be impeached and put in jail for what he's doing with the Justice Department and what he's done criminally. But nothing, again, will be done about that. Sad. It's very sad. I'm trying to think what this one is. I did not look at it good, so let me make sure this is okay. This is an interesting story. I'm probably going to have to watch myself on this. I'm not sure how YouTube is handling this, but there's a newly sealed court doc that Georgia officials tonight have been aware of vulnerabilities in the Dominion voting software, but have refused to update it. And now Mr. Ratzenberger, who is a rat, a rhino rat, as is Steve Kemp, or Kemp, whatever his name is. I can't even think of his first. Brian Kemp, the governor, worthless governor of Georgia. It's on their watch that my home state went from red to blue because of their actions. And I will say this about Georgia tonight. I was reading, I heard a commentary the other night. It was very true about this. We would have the Senate tonight, folks, had those two Georgia Senate races gone red back in 2021. Even if one of them would have went to the Republicans, we'd be basically in a 52-49, 48 majority, 51-49 even. We'd have an even with Kamala casting the vote, we would have the votes in the Senate. Not that it would help us with Mitch the blank McConnell as the head of the Senate, but we would at least have the Senate. But because of the Dominion crap and the voters that I can't say without getting my channel yanked, like a bunch of cowards that they are, because of this story tonight, you had two Senate races also get stolen as well. And now Georgia's being run by Satanists and a liberal loon. And this goes back to it's beyond the presidential race, it's the Senate race. And somebody was talking about that, how that we would have had the Senate with the midterms had those two races went our direction, and they did not. So, this is an important story. It's a developing story, but I can tell you nothing will be done about it. Ratzenberger has already told that tonight. They're not even going to look at this until after the 2024 election. You folks in Georgia, you need to be raising some you-know-what with your Secretary of State. They need to look at this. And there needs to be some knocks on the door at the Georgia State Capitol. Don't get yourself in trouble, but you can do it peaceably. You can do it with respect. But you need to be knocking on the door at Mr. Ratzenberger's office and basically telling him, get off your candied Georgia tush and get something done about this. If this is true, and I don't have any doubt to believe it's not true, Blue, because I do believe it is. By the way, this lawsuit that they filed against Fox News, Fox caved. Fox would have won that. I think Fox should have stood up to them, and they didn't. And anyway, you know, what can you say? But they have basically been told, did they just take me off? Let's see here. Have I been taken down? Are we still out there? My computer is frozen up, so I can't tell if I'm on or off right now. Let's see here. My computer is completely frozen, so let me come over here to my phone. I'll just come this way, and let's see what we got going on here. Well, it says I'm live. There we go. Okay, I'm still live. All right, we're good. We're still here. Good. It's just not showing up on my computer, so I'll just have to look at this from here. But anyway, I thought they had zapped me tonight. I've got computer issues tonight. Anyway, all right. Another good one. Here's the weapons of mass deception. And Fox, by the way, you Fox folks, I hope you're enjoying Oblivion. Your ratings have now sunk so low that MSNBC is beating you post-Tucker Carlson, and y'all are continuing to stick your middle finger up to the country and doing what you're doing to Tucker. And I hope your ratings go lower than MSNBC, because they're all guilty of it. They're all of them nothing but a losing bunch of networks, all of them. Not even remotely close. This is my friend Branko today. Tony, who was with us Tuesday night, he has got a wonderful... This was the flag that Joe Biden basically held up and told us to say Happy Flag Day to. Not the one on the ground there. So, not good. By the way, and I've not taken any kind of digs for a while, and I don't plan to take a dig tonight, but I'm just wanting you to know, for all you Color Prophet fans, that there is a shocking announcement. A shocking announcement about to come out of your White House. Not that there's not been a shocking announcement coming out of the White House already. So, wow. Okay. I'm watching y'all on my phone, so I can see you. If you got a question or two or comment, you can start putting it in soon. You can email me at McFiles Forum at gmail.com. By the way, this is an appropriate cartoon. There's pretty much the truth of it, folks. I was talking to Shannon Walsham today. He was having dinner with me, and we were talking about the Ukraine stuff. Do you realize the money that has gone to Ukraine, folks, is now in the billions of dollars. Billions. And if it keeps on, I don't know. I don't know if there's even an open end to this unless there's a Republican president comes in 2024. But this war with the Ukraine is a fraud. It's to cover his crimes up with the sun. And you are paying for this cover-up. That money in that dryer right there is not Joe Biden's money. That's the American taxpayers' money. So when you're working 3.5 days for yourself and the last 2.5 for you or the government, the last 2.5 days you're working that you're peeing your check away to the Uncle Sam people, that's where it's going. That's where it's going. And it's being laundered. So another good one there tonight. I will encourage you to go to our Telegram room. I got to play something here. I'm going to try to see if I can get this. I want to play something here. Actually, let me do this first before I do that. I do want to see if this will it paste? No, it's not going to paste. I had a good image. I wanted to talk about these losers right here. If you'll give me a minute, I got to find that picture. We had 20 Republicans today. I don't know if you heard about this. I'm not literally happy at all about this, and you shouldn't be either. They were going to censure Adam Schiff in the House. They were going to fine him $16 million for his role in the Russia-Trump cover-up bullshit collusion, because it was none. John Durham said as much. So they went after Adam Schiff in the House. The leadership said, we're going to fine you $16 million for lying and putting the country through you know what. Well, guess what happened tonight, folks? 20 Republicans, these lovely individuals, and I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole screen. I want you to take your phones and do a screenshot of this. We even put the phone numbers down for you. That's their offices. That's 20 losers. 20 losers. And I want you to let them know how much you thank them for standing in the way. These guys voted no. Kelly Armstrong, Lori Chavez, Juan Cisimano, Tom Cole, Warren Davidson, Brian Fitzpatrick, Kay Granger, Garrett Graves, Tom Ken, Kevin Kiley, Mark Molinaro, Tom McClintock, Thomas Massey from Kentucky, that's just north of me, Mike Lawler, Young Kim, Joy Obernolte, Mike Simpson, Michael Turner, David Valde, and Steve Womack. Welcome to the House Hall of Turds. Take a phone shot of that, folks, and let them know tomorrow, each one of them, how much you appreciate them selling their country out and keeping the House from doing their job. They voted not to censor Adam Schiff, and because of that vote, it went the other way. So as of now, there's not going to be anything done to Adam Schiff for his role in the Russia-Trump collusion hoax, and that's what it was, folks. It was a hoax. It was a terrible hoax, and so forth. Let me do this real quick. Let me see if I can get this opera. Give me 1 minute. Maybe this will help solve the problem. I'm going to try to sign back on to Opera, and then I can get back on with you. Very serious stuff there, though. That's not good. That did not make my night. That was on Twitter. I've got a video on Twitter that I'm going to try to play. Let's see if this will... let me pull the thing up. If it'll pull up, maybe it won't. Rudy Giuliani was on a show on the... well, it is on YouTube, actually. Let's see if it's on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, I can play it. But I've got problems with my browser. There we go, right there. There it is. Let me stop. All right. I'm going to, give me 1 minute. I want you to give me 1 second here. I'm going to copy and paste this, and you're going to lose my screen just for a second. This is worth watching. I'm not saying that I love Julie Giuliani. I'm not a big fan of his for several reasons, but in this case, I think Rudy's got something to say, and he was on Rita Crosby's show.
Don't get me wrong.
And don't get me wrong. Get rid of this. Let me get rid of this ad first.
There's just one problem.
All right. Now, I want you to listen to this, and I'm going to turn on the volume, and I want you to watch this. This is about a 4-minute clip. It's about 7 minutes, but it's worth watching. This is Rita Crosby with Rudy about a bombshell report. The person that was in charge of the Burisma investigation was found dead. And here is Rudy talking to Rita Crosby about that Saturday night. Watch this.
Us now is former New York City mayor and former attorney for President Trump. There he is, my friend, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, great to have you here. Do you really think that President Trump will be treated fairly by this group of prosecutors and has up till this moment?
Just the opposite, Rita. First of all, he lied in two very significant respects. First, he himself has a very, very bad record for lack of ethics. I mean, how about a case?
He's speaking of Jack Smith, the guy that brought the indictment.
Because he denied the defendant, in this case a governor, exculpatory evidence that would prove his innocence. The Supreme Court of the United States reversed the case. So I was a federal prosecutor, and I supervised many, many federal prosecutors. This guy would be in the unethical, big-time range. I don't know his people working on the case, but I do think they've worked on several of these cases that have been very heavily criticized for highly unethical behavior. Second, he made a statement that's extraordinary. He said that in the United States, there's one system of laws, and it applies equally to everyone. Well, of course, that's the most ridiculous, idiotic statement to make on a day in which we find out that the Bidens took a $10 million bribe from a Ukrainian, Mykola Zlochevsky, which I could have told you, and did tell them 3 years ago. And they followed up on none of the evidence I gave them. They were hoping the people would disappear or die. It's extraordinary. I gave them one witness that any investigator would jump through hoops to go to. Gave them a witness who is a woman who was the chief accountant at this crooked company, Burisma. She was the wife of the former owner who died under suspicious circumstances.
All right, I want you to guess what
she was willing to give up all of the offshore bank accounts, including the Bidens. And she supervised the transfer of a lot more cash to the Bidens and other crooked politicians for Burisma.
Are you confident that now the House committee is going to get to the bottom of that? Because that is stunning, Rudy.
I sure hope so. I mean, the reality is that we gave it to them in January of 2020. And the Pittsburgh U.S. attorney was very interested. And then in a very strange move, Barr took it away from him, gave it to the U.S. attorney in Delaware. He didn't do a damn thing about it. And the woman was under threat of death. So we tried to put pressure on them to do something. Look, suppose she was lying. You would find out in a minute. She wouldn't have the accounts. She either has the goods or she doesn't. And it's absurd not to interview her.
1,000%.
She claimed she had bank accounts and that the Bidens got a lot more money under the table than already we had $8 million on the table that we could prove, which they could prove tomorrow if they wanted to. They could have proved it 3 years ago, Rita. They could have indicted him before he ran for president and obviated this problem. We could have found out if he was innocent or guilty in January of 2020. All the witnesses were there. And
they were, but one of them's dead now.
Shokin was willing to come and testify. That's the prosecutor who will tell you he was dismissed because they wanted to fix the Burisma case And he got fired because Joe Biden required the president of the Ukraine to do it. Actually called him 4 times in 6 days and basically hounded him to death. And you have 4 recordings, not recordings, I'm sorry. You have 4 indications of 1-hour telephone calls between Biden and the president of the Ukraine during that very period.
Wow, that is stunning,
And you have his testimony.
Rudy.
Oh, by the way, it's also corroborated by his deputy who heard most of the conversation.
So let me ask you, Rudy, where do you see it going from here? Because that is explosive. You know the details obviously extremely well. Now we're finally seeing that the House committee, as you know, they just got the document basically tying we've heard reports it's a Burisma executive who says basically.
It's very powerful.
So where do you see it going now that the House committee, and it seems like every single, at least Republican member that came out said this is a bombshell. Are you confident that now soon things will get expedited and at least it's going to get looked into?
I am. You know, Rita, I don't want to exaggerate the number, but there are a number of other revelations like that, like the one I just told you about, that are to come. So to say this is the tip of the iceberg is not an exaggeration. First of all, it's a lot more than $10 million that they got. So there's a lot of money to go through yet. There are a lot of documents. There's a whole money laundering transaction of $14.2 million, which is proven by I think the document comes originally, maybe Latvia, I'm not sure, but it's a document that is on one page, a complete $14 million money laundering transaction in which Hunter Biden shared, the Biden family, and Joe Biden, there's an indication, got $800,000 of it. That document I put out in, I'd say, February of 2020, and it's on a podcast around that time.
Well, Rudy, listen, we have to get to the bottom of this. This is really fascinating. You got to come back on again soon, my friend. And let's hope now that it's there. Hopefully the House committee will start to look at it and figure out all these different shell companies.
They got plenty
and
to look
else.
at. Yeah, people should realize that what they revealed this week is the beginning of a group of revelations. Let me say conservatively 7 or 8, similar to that they could do over the next 3 or 4 weeks, of people who could directly testify to Joe Biden getting money when he was the vice president of the United States to do things for them. Like in this particular case, to get the Burisma case fixed so that the guy from Burisma got away with the $40 billion that he stole over a period of time. Of course, he was very, very grateful. He's the source, by the way. He's the ultimate source of the confidential informants information. My call is
right, and that also seems, by the way, that's what essentially the members of the House committee were also saying too as well. Rudy, this is Blockbuster. Thank you very much. It certainly shows that the next few weeks are definitely going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rudy, very much. We love you. Thanks for being here.
As usual, Rita.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. You too, my friend. Thank you.
All righty. For God's sake, stop with the love fest there. But anyway, I do not believe Rudy. I do not hold his optimism. There's enough revelation that there should have already been stuff done. Now, a week from now, when we do this next one, if something is done, McDonald will come back and he will be the first to tell you McDonald was wrong. There was something done about it. So we'll just wait and see. But I would encourage you, and some people are immune to good advice, just don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. And Rosemary, it's not a he, it's a she. It's a she that is dead. She was the accountant for Burisma, and she died under weird circumstances a year after her husband went down in a plane crash. So, anyway, we'll see. But the bigger problem with this tonight, folks, is this. They're not going to talk to you about this on the media. They're going to tell you over and over and over that Trump's indicted, and he's indicted. And I saw Dinesh D'Souza tonight. We're going to try to get Dinesh back on. We're trying to work with Magdalene. She's got contact with him. And we're begging him to come back on the McFiles and share his insight to this. We'd love to have him back. But he's reporting tonight that one of the cases in New York against President Trump has been dropped by the Westchester. They've been under investigating him for 2 years, one of his companies. And they dropped that case, and Dinesh's tweet was 1 down, 3 to go. So there is a little silver lining in the clouds tonight. But the justice system is so corrupt right now, folks. I don't know where there's any remedy for this until we get new leadership in D.C. Because if you got the Attorney General basically in charge of these crooked investigations and stopping people from being investigated, and then going after a political opponent, you got an issue, and you got a serious issue. There's no doubt about that. But anyway. All right, now let's see here. Let's see what else we got here tonight. I think that's let's see here. Oh, let me see this right here. This is a good one. This is from Michael C. A couple hours ago yesterday. You don't steal an entire country. Buddy up with China. Give the Taliban your weapons. Force your top fighters to step down. Stop the food supply chain. Disassemble your border wall and encourage an invasion of your own country, and to not be a treasonous act of war against your own people. Michael, I don't know who you are, but I couldn't have said it better. You don't steal an entire country. Buddy up with China. Give the Taliban your weapons. Force your top fighters to step down. Stop the food supply chain. Disassemble your border wall. Encourage an invasion of your own country, and to not be treasonous. It is treasonous. But because you've got spineless leadership in D.C., nothing will be done about it. 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 And folks, please, even on tonight, no paragraphs. It just distracts people when you put paragraphs in the chat room. 1 or 2 sentences will suffice. And if you got a question, put it in the chat room real quick, and we'll answer it. Now, you can either email me. We've already got some email questions in the forum tonight. I'm going to go over there and answer them if I can. And Sharon says, until I was saved and read the Bible, I was a denier of flat earth, and I heard and read a lot of information that seemed to prove flat earth. Sharon, I don't mean to be ugly tonight, don't mean to be rude. There is nothing in the Bible that tells you the earth is flat. Zilch. Zilch. Sure, I'm not going to argue with you. If you want to believe that, knock yourself out. Sharon, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You are wrong. As all you other flat earthers are. And I would encourage you to stay off the YouTube channel smoking the weed. Extremely. And get some help. I don't mean to be ugly, but you're wrong. The earth is not flat. The earth is not flat. Okay. I'll probably get in trouble for that one. But anyway. Let's see here. Ann Wolliver says, I want to thank you for speaking truth. I have a few people I listen to. And she says, I used to listen to some other people, and they started saying about how we aren't sinners after. At first, I don't want to read all this, Annie, but the basically thing that she is saying is a lot of these people are preaching New Age theology. And Annie, you're absolutely right. We're gonna be getting back to the teaching very soon on New Age. By the way, folks, let me just say this about this, and I don't mean to be ugly tonight, and I wasn't trying to be. I hope I wasn't too ugly with sharing there. But let me tell you this, folks. This fascination that has taken the internet by storm with angels and Nephilim and supernatural beings and aliens and portals and DNA and all of this lizard stuff and all of this nonsense, listen to me. You better be more worried about your soul than whether your neighbor is a lizard running around in a human skin. You better be worried about your soul. You understand that tonight? You sabi? You better be more worried about your soul than that. And it is based on New Age theology. Now, I'm going to lose some of you on that because a lot of you are chasing that down, and you believe it. You're believing it at your own peril. We've never said on this show that those things are not real, are not real. And we're going to be dealing with the Nephilim if you'll be with us in our morning Bible studies and listen to what we got to say instead of listening to your YouTube buddies and then taking what we say and twisting it around and twisting our words, because we're not twisting our words. But we're going to deal with the Nephilim and exactly what the Bible says about it. But I'm trying to get a point across to you tonight, folks. This fascination with it is unhealthy. And this fascination with it is from the New Age. We're trying to get Doreen Virtue to come on, but we got a lady, Marcia Montenegro, that's going to be interviewed. She's coming on the show the 27th, I think. Yeah, June the 27th, first Tuesday night of the last Tuesday night of the month. She is a former New Ager. Talked to her yesterday and ran some of this stuff by her. And I'm going to let her tell you what she told me. And maybe this will put to rest some of this pursuit of chasing these little things down. Because I'm going to tell you something. Some of you are embracing demon spirits and you're embracing doctrines of devils and you're embracing seducing spirits and you don't even know it. Because of this fascination with angels and this fascination, folks, with things that we're not to be looking into. You better be more worried about your soul. And many of you ain't. Because many of you are caught up. Woo! You got to be fascinated. You're going to be fascinated right off into hell. And I mean that tonight. You can get mad at Chris McDonald. You can get mad at the Mac Man. You can get mad. And I've asked you folks, no paragraphs in the chat room tonight. I love you, but no paragraphs. 1 or 2 sentences will do. 1 or 2 sentences will do. Annie says, do you know the Q group is claiming a fake rapture? I heard about this. Annie, thank you for this. I did not know about this, but now I do. She says, did I know that the Q group is claiming a fake rapture is coming by the deep state called Project Bluebeam? No, Annie, I have not. I've not heard about Project Bluebeam. I'm amazed at how people defend nonsense and reject the word. Annie, I couldn't have said it better. Project Bluebeam. That's the latest craze. Imbeciles. But let me tell you something, folks. We laugh at that. There are people that are out there that will believe that. They will believe that. Sadly, they will believe that. They will believe that. They will believe that. Carol Smith, have you heard of the Queen James Bible? Gay friendly. They said, I've not heard that one, Carol, but I would not doubt that it's out there. I would not doubt that it's out there. Let's see what we got going on here. Anyway. Got a question, send it to me quick, because I'm about to get out of here tonight. I've been going an hour. Anyway. President Trump's birthday. It was yesterday. It was yesterday, that's for sure. But anyway, all right. Looks like we've got, let's see, the WF said they want AI to rewrite the whole Bible. Rosemary, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that a bit. I don't. Folks, let me tell you something. I gotta wrap this up because I'm going 46 minutes and I'm getting out here. It's 10:30. Listen. Sharon, if you're out there, what I said was not meant to sound snipey. If you want to believe that, my friend, knock yourself out. If you want to believe the false earth, the fake earth, the flat earth, whatever you want to believe, folks, if you want to chase Nephilim down, go chase them. If you want to chase angels down, go chase them down. If you want to chase this stuff down, go chase them down. I'm going to love you. I'm going to pray for your deluded soul, but I'm going to love you. The Lord's tried to calm me down a little bit and say, don't be snarky. Just tell them that you're not there. Just be snarky, but tell them you're not here. But folks, this stuff that's out there is why we're in the abyss that we're in. Now, if you want to waste your precious time pursuing that, you go right ahead. I'm not going to keep trying to babysit you. I've been doing my best to keep some of you off a cliff. And my favorite saying on this show is some people are immune to good advice. And I'm finding out it ain't just some. There's a lot that are immune to good advice. But the more scarier thing is this. These things are an attack. Carol, your question about the Queen James Bible, it does not surprise me. But it's no worse. It's no worse than somebody claiming that somebody got in a portal and went back in time and rewrote the King James Bible, and they're claiming they can prove it with the Mandela effect. And they can prove this, and they are claiming that, again, that the King James was a Mason and he didn't give us the full revelation, but they never tell you what the full revelation is. They never tell you what translation to go to. It's no different to me. It's all an attack on God's Word. It's all an attack on God's Word. I'm going to tell you something, friend. I have stood in the gap. I have done my best on this show. I have stood with people. We have been as friendly and kind to everybody that has crossed paths on this show. But when they promote false doctrine and they promote error, then our association ends. And I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. Because we're not promoting error. I can't control what they do on their network. But what's happened is if they've been here, then people think we've endorsed that, and we don't endorse it. So just because we've had a past guest and they're promoting this dumb foolery nonsense doesn't mean the McFiles promotes this dumb foolery nonsense. We've had a major house cleaning over the last 8 months, and I've kept my mouth shut about it, and I'm going to say a few things about it before I go home tonight. I've been keeping you 49 minutes. It's been a pretty good this and that. The show is as healthy as it's ever been right now. This last year has been a very tumultuous year spiritually. It's been a show that our show has had ups, downs, craters, shifting in the wind. There's been audiences come. There's been audiences that have gone. There are people that have come on. They don't like me for this reason. Some others like me for that reason. They don't like the fact. And it don't matter how many times we tell people that certain people are not on the show right now, not because of us, but they just don't feel led to come. They still ask about them, and we try to convince them and tell them that we don't know and we don't know. But I'm going to tell you this, folks. We made a commitment back at the first of the year to the Lord that whatever we've had on this show up to that point, if whatever it was that was not right, it was going to never happen again, and it's not going to happen again. We've been called a hypocrite. We've been called every name in the book. We've been called a divider. We've been called a curser. We've been accused of cursing people. We've never cursed a soul. We've been accused of everything under the sun. But I'm going to tell you this again tonight, folks, and I look in this camera, and I say it with all the love of Jesus in my heart. I don't care who they are. I can respect them as a person. But if they're promoting error, my respect ends. And we're not connected to it. What I say on this show is my business. And I am the host of the McFiles. I am the caretaker of you that listen to this network. And God is my witness tonight. There's nothing that's going to go forth from this network ever again that's going to be in error. Now, if there are some of you out there that want to believe this other stuff, I cannot stop you from not believing it. I can beg you to stay grounded. I can do my best to keep you grounded, to direct you to the right path. But as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to the trough, but you can't make it drink. If you want to drink the water of this other stuff and get yourself so confused that you don't know what day it is spiritually, because see, when I see these emails that come in, I see the confusion in them. I see the confusion in them. I see the confusion. God's not the author of that, folks. I've not had one person yet that's been part of my morning Bible study send me an email yet and say, I'm confused about something you're saying. No. The confusion always comes, I heard somebody else say this and it didn't mesh with you. Well, the confusion ain't here. The confusion's over there. And if you're getting your nourishment from over there, maybe you're in the wrong Bible study here. Or maybe you're in the wrong program here. Look, we love you. We're fighting to keep subscribers. We're fighting to keep people, folks. We're fighting to keep this show on the air. We love every one of you. We're not trying to be ugly with what we're saying tonight. But you in a dojo here, you're in a harbor here that is safe. Because we're not going to be carried away with this foolishness. And I don't care how many times you send me 16 videos of somebody that saying this and saying that. It don't matter. I love you tonight. But I will tell you this New Age influence is destroying millions of souls tonight, folks. And when you're seeing this preoccupation with these things, that people are being preoccupied and sharing out on their rooms and their links and their social media, I'm telling you tonight, folks, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Now, you can take that and accept that, or you can reject that counsel. I'm reading the Proverbs. And one of the Proverbs tonight I read, it said, because you rejected counsel, I'm going to laugh at your calamity. I'm going to laugh when you have calamity because you rejected counsel. The God of heaven says, I'm going to mock and laugh. I'm not going to mock and laugh, folks. I'm going to be crying tears with you. But I'm also going to look at you as a friend and say, we tried to warn you. And I'm trying to warn you tonight to stay grounded in the faith. And you better get your focus off this other crap, and you better get your focus on Christ. And you better stay focused on Him, and you better stay focused on the cross. And you better be careful who you're listening to. And you better be careful what you're being carried off into, and twisting the Bible, and listening to people that are twisting words, and twisting things, and twisting to their own destruction, and wrestling their scriptures to their destruction, and to yours too that listen to it. And I guess we all have to wait to see what the shocking announcement that is coming out of the White House is going to be, because that's the latest prophetic word tonight. Chris will hold his breath in anticipation of that. Okay. Okay. Did I offend too many of you tonight? Are you good? Are you still with me tonight? Do you still love me tonight? Good. I hope I did. Sudden harsh, I don't even know what you're saying. But anyway. All right, are we good? Are we good tonight? I think we're good. Lisa says, where's the cowboy hat? Lisa, just for you. By the way, it's good seeing my buddy. Her and her husband came up to see us in the mountains. And it was good. There's the cowboy hat just for you. Just for you, Lisa S. Let me remind you of something tonight, folks. The name on the front is more important than the name on the back. And I'll wear this cowboy hat again. Now, I don't know what we're going to have for tomorrow night, but I'm going to be on the Ron Edwards show tomorrow, but it's radio, so they won't see the cowboy hat, but I'm going to wear the cowboy hat with Ron Edwards. Ron Edwards Notebook, 3 o'clock. Be with us then. We're going to light the house up with Ron Edwards. Tomorrow night, we'll be back. We may do this again. Offend the other half of you we didn't offend tonight. But, folks, keep yourself grounded. Please keep yourself grounded. I mean this. I'm not trying to be ugly or snarky or anything else with anybody, folks. This is serious stuff. It grieves my heart to see people being carried off into this nonsense. And I can't do nothing. I mean, ultimately, I can't do nothing about it. I can just shake my head and just shake my head at it and pray for them. That's about all I can do, and that's really about all you can do, too. But as caretaker of this show, it will not be allowed here ever again. Ever. And that you can take to the bank. All right. That's all I got tonight. That's a pretty good hour. I'm right at 57 minutes, so I've given you my late night hour. You got a doubleheader tonight. I don't know where Johnson went off to. Him and Elvis must have taken a vacation, a siesta. He was supposed to come on and got me out of this mess. He may come on tomorrow night. We may have Brad Johnson tomorrow night. Got a lot to talk to him about. I hope he can come on. I really do. Listen, we love you guys, and we appreciate you. Hope you had a good night tonight. Great show with January Littlejohn Smith Littlejohn. Please listen to that replay from earlier tonight if you missed it. I will see you tomorrow in the morning on the Faith Network. I'll have the cowboy hat off, and we'll get back to the good old study of the Bible, which I'm enjoying immensely. I hope you are. And then we'll have, I'll be with Ron at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We got a great lineup coming up next week and the next. Some new guests that you're going to love, and they're going to knock your socks off. And may the Lord bless you tonight. I do love you. And again, I say all this stuff to you folks in love. I'm not trying to be ugly in any way. But I've realized people come and people go, the best stay. I've also learned that with people that say they're your friends sometimes you don't need enemies. I've also learned that the people that are ready to crown you the best in the world on Monday are ready to crucify you on Friday. I've learned a lot of lessons over going on 7 years now with this show. And every lesson has been learned, and every lesson is appreciated. And we hold no ill will to anybody tonight as we sign off this show. I love every one of you. I care for every one of you, even those of you that disagree with us, even those I disagree with. There is nothing in my heart toward anybody. But I am the caretaker of this network, and I'm a caretaker of you that listen to me. And that is going to be defended to the faith and to the death, to make sure that what you're hearing is truth on this network and nothing else. And I love you enough to tell you that. All righty. Have a good night, everybody. Be blessed out there, and I will see you when I see you, but definitely tomorrow night sometime. Good night.